Season 10 is coming and it's going to be explosive. It's called The Indictment. So this is the official trailer of Season 10, Unmasking Justice on Silent Screams, Loud Strength. There are ways to destroy a person's life that leaves no single photograph of the destruction. No broken windows, no one catastrophic night, no single document you can hold up and say, that was the moment. Sometimes it happens differently. A little confidence goes first, then the access to money, then friendships become harder to maintain. Decisions that once belonged to you somehow become negotiations. Your boundaries move. Your world becomes smaller and smaller. Your voice changes. You explain more. You apologize more. You question yourself more. You tolerate things the person you used to be would never ever tolerate. And eventually, somebody looks at what remains of your life and asks, why did you just not leave? Why didn't you leave? But they have entered the story at the end. They are looking at you and looking at the rubble and asking why you didn't evacuate before the building collapsed. They haven't asked who was removing the exits. They haven't asked what happened to your money, what happened to your confidence, what happened to your security, what happened to your identity, what actually happened, your ability to choose. They haven't asked what living had come to cost you. And they certainly haven't asked the question at the heart of this season. What if you did leave and the control didn't end? What if it changed form? What if it moved into money? It moved into your property. It moved reputation. It moved into litigation, records, institutes, relationships. What if the relationship just ended, but the architecture survived? This season, we are going to name the architecture of harm, the architecture of coercive control, the architecture of grooming to control quantum. This is the commitment trap, reduced exit capacity, domestic manufactured choice, the architecture of entrapment, the cult of two, the borrowed self, control, migration, and then we are going to somewhere even more uncomfortable, literally very, very uncomfortable, where we speak to institutes and ask them, have they looked at the records? Have they examined and tested the assertions? Have they looked into the evidence, into what happens when one person's words acquire institutional authority while another person's requires to be proven, the proven architecture that enters the life of the victim. And let me be clear, this season is not asking anyone to abandon evidence. It is demanding more of it. Don't believe me simply because I am a survivor. Don't believe anybody else simply because they are represented. Don't confuse advocacy with evidence. Don't confuse reputation with collaboration. Don't confuse allegations with findings. Test it. Test the assertions. Test the denial. Test the chronology. Test the documents. Test the contradictions. Test the patterns. And if you are going to exercise institutional power over somebody's home, children, property, finances, reputation, or their future, show us the evidence that justifies the consequences that has led to the order the court has imposed on that person, because justice cannot require one person to produce a dossier while allowing another to prevail through a confidant that is imposing a sentence on a victim of domestic abuse. There are 14 segments to this season: lived experience, my case, and much bigger questions for the justice system, lawyers themselves, policymakers, parliament, safeguarding professionals, and every institution entrusted with somebody else's vulnerability. What happens when we finally stop examining the fragments and put the whole life back together? I'm Samantha, your host of Silence Screams Loud Strength. See you in season 10, The Indictment.